Hi, I'm Brad Sweezy, president of Just Small Biz Marketing, and today I want to talk to you about 3 powerful secrets to getting more customers without the internet. I know, I love the internet, so do you. I love social media more for the personal thing than what it actually generates for most businesses. But offline marketing, which is what we call internet marketing without internet, is very important to businesses, and you can use it to grow your business. So let's take a look. I'm not on my main computer today because it stopped working, so I'm on my laptop. Okay, so let's look at the 3 ways you can get more customers. First way is signage for your business if you have a physical location. The second is, use direct mail. And the third is consider newspaper advertising. Yes, the good old newspaper. And I'll explain why I think each one of these should be something you should incorporate if possible. Signage for your business, okay? This is a picture of a eye care place in Petersburg, Alaska, which my wife and I visited this summer. And Petersburg is like this Norwegian town in Alaska. But I took a picture of this because I have a friend who owns an optometry practice. But notice the signage. It catches your attention with the dog with the glasses. Obviously, they're in a colder environment, and they've got a dog that's built for that. So signage for your business, if you have a location. Obviously. The other thing is consider impulse decisions. Now, it doesn't really matter. You probably are not going to just walk by and go, hey, I need glasses, but you might. You never know. But especially if you have a store that sells a lot of items that people can buy on impulse, it's certainly something good for pizza restaurant, something like that. So definitely take a look at that. And then you have to look at your signage. Does it reflect your brand? If your store, because you want to save rent, is in a less than ideal retail spot, then you need to make up for it with signage and other forms of advertising to show people that it's really not a dive inside if the shopping center is a dive. So you really have to look at how is your brand positioned and how do you want your brand to be positioned, and then make adjustments. You always have to adjust. If you save money on rent because you want to, save overhead, you also probably are going to have to spend more money on marketing so you can get people in. One of the first clients I had when I started back in 2013 doing this full time was, or maybe it was 2014 with this client. I don't remember, but the point is they had a retail store, and it was a big retail store. They had a lot of square footage, and I met with them 2 months before ultimately they went out of business. It was too late, but what they did was their location was off the main path. And I looked at their whole marketing expenditures for the past 3 or 4 years, and they spent like 0.2% of money of their total revenue in marketing. So nobody knew their store existed because everybody was going to the main drag, so to speak, to go shopping, and tourists and everybody else. And so they basically, went out of business. So you really, and that's not the only reason, but they really need to make up for it. So if your location is bad, make sure your signage is extra good. And if your location is great, again, make sure your signage reflects who your brand is and what it reflects you want the customers to think. Let's look at the next one. Direct mail. Good old direct mail. Now, I have a client who, 7 figures, revenue 7 figures, so in the $1 million plus category. They do direct mail and they do internet marketing, right? So we do both of those things. And while direct mail doesn't produce a tremendous gain per se, it does produce enough that it's worth doing. It's definitely worth doing. They do it consistently, So the internet for them is pretty good, but their direct mail is great. And the advantage of that is with direct mail is this is why I don't necessarily put every item down there, because when I talk, I think of different ideas. If you have your target market, you ID your target market. So the advantage of the direct mail is that you can reach decision makers who might miss your emails or online efforts. Let's face it, if you use Gmail, a lot of people do, and other things, they're filtering your messages all over the place, right? And so you can send a message on your same network to somebody in your same business, whatever, and sometimes you might not get the email. And emails go into the, this is what is it, an update or a promotional email. Google makes these decisions, let's say, And so you may never get your email to the person actually making a decision. The other thing is you might say, I don't want to do this, right? But your spouse goes and checks the mail, sees a postcard, et cetera, and goes, let me consider this. The other advantage of the direct mail is people usually hold on to it. I know I've got direct mail here somewhere because I keep examples, but people hold on to it a lot more for a longer period of time than they do an email. Email is fire and forget. You might open it and say, I need to act on this, and they get taken away by 17 other emails. And you never go back to it. Direct mail is a physical appearance, a physical thing that's there. And then you can link your direct mail with your online efforts. You could, for example, target, say, look, I want to sell this service to high-end homes, right? Who need something. And so you can define your market. You can, if you do EDDM, which is every door direct mail, you're not going to get necessarily the names. So if you want to integrate it with online marketing and social media marketing, we definitely want to buy a list of people you want to target. You take that list. What you'll do then is upload that list to, social media. And so people will get your postcard, and then they'll also, depending on how much money you advertise in social media, they'll also start seeing your ads on their social media feed. So you're getting both things and you're getting that support. And with marketing, you have to hit people more than once. Don't just send out one postcard. When I'm doing something for a client, I go, are you willing to do this 6 times? That's what you have to do. First time people blow it off, they forget it, they lose it, whatever. So you really have to commit to it. But if you do that and integrate it with everything else, you can do a lot. You can even integrate it with your website and do pearls, which is personalized URLs to actually track, which people are actually going to your website after the postcard. And you can also do a tracking phone number so you know how many calls came in from the postcard. And that's one of the ways we track our clients. Postcards get a different phone number. It all goes to your main phone number, but then you can track it and see, did this work or not? And then you can see the results over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. It's really effective to do. And the other thing is, I live in Florida. We've got a population that ages quite a bit, especially during snowbird season, right? And my parents are in their 80s, 85 and 82. They still get mail and react to mail. I mean, my wife runs a travel agency. She's been doing that for 20 years. Actually 21 now. They like physical things, and cruise companies will send tons and tons of cruise emails and tours and everything else to the older population because they know it works and they track it. So you've got to do it, especially if your target population does it. And it's not that expensive when you can track your ROI and see this is working or it's not working. You commit to it, and then once you're done committing to it, you're tracking it. You say, well, this one didn't work so well. This one worked better. The other thing with direct mail is you don't just create a direct mail piece with, what you think people are going to respond to. If you're doing something like Google Ads, for example, you can track which headlines drive conversions, which descriptions drive conversions. And you can use that information in printed advertising, and you'll get much better results because at least you have actual human beings who've looked at this and made decisions that, yeah, I want to do this. So everything needs to be integrated. And even though I'm talking about direct mail and offline marketing here, the point is you really got to integrate everything if you really want to get the most bang for your buck. Let's take a look at newspapers, the good old newspaper, And let's wait for my thing to come up. I know not many people read them. I know it. I still get the local paper because I'm a marketing guy, and sometimes you miss things on emails on the website. They're the information presented differently. And it's also tailored toward you. As the more you go on a website, things tend to get tailored to you versus the paper. So I like the paper, but I know a lot of people don't read them. I know it. The good thing for you is newspapers don't have the hold that they had in the past on advertisers, right? Now newspapers will try to, and there's some benefit of that. I'll say, look, when you do an ad in the newspaper, you're also going to do a digital ad or something like a banner ad or something like that. So they're going to try to get as much as they can. But if you just want to do strictly print, you can do that. And the key here is just like the postcards, enough of the right target market reads them. If you track it with the tracking phone number, and I don't think this company is, I took this from the paper today, and it's September 13th right now. If you track it, you can track it with the phone number. You can make a variation of that heatwavepc.com, and you could track the newspaper, for example. But enough of the right target market reads them. Now I'm going to talk about my experience finding a handyman. I don't know about you, but finding people to help you with your house is a challenge. And I, went online like everybody else does. I also social media. Getting people to respond and call you back is tough. And I wish I kept that handyman ad, but basically it was, handyman, here's my phone number. That's it. It was a very small ad, not as big as this heat wave ad here. But after all the months of trying to contact people on Home Advisor and Google and all that stuff, I called the number from this little ad, and the guy said, sure, I'll come out and take a look Monday. And I think, the next week or whatever, it was fixed. The problem solved. We had to get these heavy glass doors installed in our shower that were 80 pounds a piece. And my wife couldn't handle it. I probably couldn't handle it and hold it and do everything else at the same time. But the point is, this small ad in a newspaper made this guy, money from a number of people. So you have to look at everything. And especially if you're doing something, and I go back to the age population, for example, you really want to think about what kind of media do they consume, and they're all on social media now, mainly Facebook. But you really want to integrate everything, and you want to focus on where your target market is getting information. That's above and beyond everything. Where are they getting the information they need to make decisions? And if that's where it is, you need to go there. And if you don't go there because you don't want to spend a little bit of money, then you're going to have a hard time growing systematically, because online is great. The challenge with online is they're really one big monster that controls almost every search advertising on the web. And we all know what it is, but they can change the rules at any point in time. Your one marketing channel might be great for you, but if the rules change, or the algorithm changes, your whole business can go, I won't say belly up, but hurt substantially. I'm offering a free consultation. If you want to spend some time, we'll do a Zoom call, or if you're in my local area, we'll do it in person. And we can go over a little bit about what we do, methodical planning on marketing. We integrate everything that saves you money, because you're wasting money right now on advertising and marketing. I can bet you are. Very rarely do I see a business that isn't wasting money. So we're going to take a look at things. We can help you identify some opportunities if we do a marketing plan. But the free consultation will kind of go over, initially what your situation is like, what are your concerns, etc. And then see, can we help you or not? I mean, if you have no marketing budget, I can give you some ideas, but you need a marketing budget, and we can talk about that in more detail. So if you're interested, you can call me at 321-613-8476 or 941-564-9163, or email me at brad@justsmallbiz.com. Okay, thank you. Gotta close this.